Ever notice how a certain kind of window can feel less like a pane of glass and more like a surface, a gentle, invisible barrier where the world outside seems to press its face close, yet the noise cannot quite get in? Not the window you look through, but the window you lean against. The one whose cool, smooth surface meets your forehead, and for a moment, the line between your inner storm and the outer world becomes blurred, and then a strange alchemy occurs. The worries don't vanish. They slide. They lose their sticky, clinging quality and begin to drift down the glass like slow, fat raindrops, merging with the night until you can't tell the difference between your own release and the world's quiet absorption. Welcome back to NightForm Stillness. I'm Sarah. Tonight, we're not looking for an escape. We're finding a specific kind of meeting place, the window where worries don't fight, don't get solved, but simply lose their grip, where the hard edges of anxiety soften into condensation, and the view, whether it's a city street or a blank wall, becomes a mirror for a gentler way of being. Let's come closer to that pain. Let's feel its cool touch and learn the art of letting things slide. It begins not with letting go, but with contact. The physical act of bringing your fevered mind, represented by the heat of your brow, to the cool, indifferent glass. This is the first act of humility. Your worry is hot, personal, urgent. The window is cool, impersonal, eternal. It does not care about your deadline, your conflict, your fear. And in that utter lack of care, there is a profound mercy. It offers no solutions, so it cannot disappoint. It offers no sympathy, so it cannot drain you. It offers only a steady, smooth resistance, a boundary. And in a world where worries thrive by blurring all boundaries, invading sleep, hijacking meals, poisoning quiet moments, this simple, firm line is a sacred thing. So you lean, and you feel the solidity. You watch your breath fog a small circle on the surface. This is important, your living breath, meeting the inanimate world, leaving a temporary, misty mark. Your worry is like that fog. It is the warm, moist evidence of your aliveness, condensing on the surface of circumstances. It is real. It appears. But it is also temporary, and it needs the cool, hard surface of something not you to even become visible. Without the window, your breath would vanish into the air, unseen. Without a resistant reality to press against, your worries would just be a shapeless, internal humidity, oppressive, but formless. The window gives your worry a form. It shows it to you. And on a cool pane, fog does not stick. It gathers, swells, and then, pulled by its own weight, it begins to slide. This is the movement we must learn. We think we must dissolve our worries, vaporize them with positive thinking. But some worries are too dense for that. are droplets, not mist. The window teaches a different art, the art of gravity. Allow the worry of its weight. Feel its full, liquid reality. I am anxious about the meeting. Let that be a whole, heavy drop. And then simply stop holding it up. Stop pressing it against the glass with the force of your attention. Let the natural pull of something deeper, the pull of peace that is your true nature, draw it downward. You don't push it. You cease interfering. You watch it begin its slow, inevitable descent down the pane. It leaves a clean, wet trail behind it, a testament that it was there. And then it is gone, absorbed into the greater dampness at the sill, becoming part of the background, no longer distinct. The view outside is irrelevant. It could be a breathtaking landscape or a brick wall. The magic isn't in the vista, it's in the transparency. The window is where in here and out there acknowledge each other, yet remain separate. Your worries are in here. The vast, untroubled world is out there. The window is the conscious acknowledgement that both are true at once. You can hold the worry and see the untroubled night. You don't have to choose. The window allows for this dual citizenship. And in that allowance, the worry, seeing it is not the only reality, often loses its urgency. It becomes just one thing in a field of many things. Its monopoly on your attention is broken. So tonight, if worries cling to you like static, don't try to banish them to some imaginary out there. Instead, find your inner window. It might be the feeling of your palms resting flat on your thighs. It might be the sound of a distant, constant fan. It might be the visual of a remembered window from your childhood. Find that smooth, cool boundary of awareness. Bring your worry to it. Touch the worry to that surface. Feel its heat meet the coolness. Watch it fog over. And then, with the gentlest exhalation, let it be subject to gravity. Let it slide. You are not the worry. You are not even the pain. You are the quiet space in the room, watching the beautiful, temporary physics of release happen on the glass. And you are utterly, peacefully dry. The second knowing about this window is that its power isn't in its transparency, but in its reflectivity when the dark comes. During the day, a window is a portal. You look through it, your gaze leaping out to grasp the world, to measure distances, to engage with what's happening. But at night, when the interior light is soft and the world outside is a pool of shadow, the window undergoes a transformation. It becomes a mirror, a gentle, ghostly reflector. You lean to look out, and instead, you meet your own face, softened by the dim light, held in the frame of the darkness. This is the crucial shift. The window where worries slide away is not one you use to scrutinize the outside world, the very source of so many worries. It is the window that turns you back upon yourself, not in a harsh, analytical way, but in a gentle, almost accidental meeting. You weren't looking for yourself. You were looking for an escape, and there you are, your own eyes looking back. In that moment, the frantic outward search is interrupted. The worry, which is always about something out there, a future outcome, another person's opinion, an external event, hits this reflective surface and is forced to turn around. It comes back to you, not as a problem, but as a question. Who is the one who is worried? In this reflection, the worry begins to change its substance. Seen as an external threat, it has solidity and sharp edges. Seen as a reflection in the night window, it takes on the quality of the light that illuminates it, soft, diffused, and intimately part of the one who is looking. The fear of tomorrow's failure is no longer a monster on the path ahead. It is a shadow on your own face, a pattern of tension around your eyes, and you can meet that. You can offer compassion to that face in the glass. You can watch a breath fog over that anxious expression and see it soften, blur, and temporarily disappear. The window mirror shows you that the worry is not separate from the one who holds it. It is a state of the holder, and states can change. So you practice this inner reflectivity. You close your eyes, and instead of following the storyline of the worry, you feel for the space of your own awareness. You imagine it as a dark, calm room, and in that room there is one window. The worries are not outside, they are like shapes you are holding up to the glass. You watch them as silhouettes. You notice their form, but you don't go out to them. You stay in the room. You feel the solid floor beneath you, the still air. The window is the boundary of your mindfulness. It lets you see the worries, acknowledge their shapes, but it contains them as images, not as invasions. They tap on the glass, but you are safe in the room of your being. You can even, with a gentle exhale, fog the glass from your side and watch their sharp outlines melt into a general, harmless mist. This reflective window is also where you see your fundamental innocence. The face in the glass is not a failure, not a perpetrator. It is simply tired. It is simply human. It has been carrying things. The quiet mirror of the night, stripped of daytime's performing mask, you meet the being behind the doing. And that being is inherently peaceful. The worries are like smudges on the mirror, not flaws in the face. You are not the smudge. You are the clear, reflecting surface that the smudge temporarily obscures. Your work is not to fight the smudge, but to remember the clarity of the glass beneath it. That clarity is your true nature, still, untroubled, perfectly capable of holding an image without becoming it. Tonight, if worries persist, turn them into reflections. Don't fight their content. Ask instead, where do I feel this in my body? What is the shape of this feeling against the window of my awareness? Give the worry a silhouette. Then, fog the glass. Breathe warmth onto it and let the silhouette soften, run, lose its defining edges. It is not gone. It has just returned to the formless moisture from which it came, ready to become something else. Tear, a sigh, a bead of sweat, or simply the humidity of a life being lived. The window remains clean and clear, ready to reflect the next true thing. Perhaps, finally, your own inherent, worry-less peace. The third understanding of the window is its most humble property. It gets streaked. It gathers dust, is marked by the gentle, persistent trails of past rain, and captures the faint, greasy imprint of a touch. It is not a perfect, clinical surface. It is a living journal of the weather and the world, and this is its deepest teaching. The window where worries slide away is not a blank slate. It is a testament to what has already passed across it. Your worries are not the first marks on this glass, and they will not be the last. They are simply today's weather, today's touch, today's atmospheric condition, condensing upon a surface that has known 1,000 such conditions and remains, fundamentally, a window. When we are in the grip of anxiety, we feel its mark as permanent defacement. We believe it etches our soul, but the window knows a different truth. The raindrop's path is beautiful in its moment of descent, a silver thread on the pane, but it dries. The dust settles in a soft film, but it can be wiped away. Even the greasy smudge from a pressed forehead is just a testament to a moment of contact, of a human seeking coolness and support. The window does not resent these marks. It incorporates them into its history, and in doing so, renders them transient, part of a larger, ever-changing landscape. Your worry is just another streak on the glass of your awareness. It is not you. It is something that is happening to the clear, witnessing space that you are. This perspective invites a gentle curiosity. Instead of fighting the worry, you can observe its texture as you would observe the path of a raindrop. Is this worry a slow, thick streak of condensation, like a heavy, muggy day? Is it a sharp, angular mark, like a sudden impact? Or is it a fine, all-over dust, a generalized anxiety that dims the entire view? By giving it this objective quality, by seeing it as a mark on the glass, rather than a truth about the world, you create the essential separation. You are not the streak. You are the awareness that contains both the streak and the clear glass around it. You are the whole window. And then you can remember the agents of cleansing. The window has its own allies. The gentle, persistent rain will, over time, wash the streaks into a clean, running blur. The morning sun will warm the glass and evaporate the moisture. The patient hand with a soft cloth can restore clarity. In your inner world, these agents are breath, time, and compassionate attention. The breath is the rain, a gentle, rhythmic washing that overcycles, softens, and dissolves the sharp edges of distress. Time is the sun, the simple, passive allowance for things to change, for energy to dissipate, for perspective to broaden. Compassionate attention is the soft cloth, the conscious, loving decision to turn toward the worry, not to scrub it raw, but to acknowledge it, and in that acknowledgement, begin its integration. So tonight, practice being the streaked window. Inventory the marks left by today. Don't judge them as clean or dirty. Simply note them. Ah, here is the streak from that difficult conversation. It has a zig-zag pattern. Here is the faint, oily smudge of that low-grade dread about tomorrow. Here is the beautiful, crystalline pattern left by that moment of unexpected kindness. See how it catches the light differently. Hold them all. Your job is not to have a perfectly clean window by nightfall. Your job is to be the window that can hold all the weather of a life without shattering. The clarity you seek is not the absence of marks. It is the transparency that exists between them and beneath them. It is the constant, unchanging quality of the glass itself. As you rest, feel your awareness as this vast, slightly streaked pane. The worries are just the most recent condensation. The night air is cool. The process of cleansing has already begun. You don't have to do anything. Just be the pain and allow the natural elements of breath and time to do their gentle work. The streaks will soften. They may not vanish tonight, but they will become part of the window's story, not its obstruction. And you will see, with increasing clarity, that the view was always there, the vast, still night waiting patiently behind every temporary, passing streak. The fourth layer of the window's wisdom is its silent vibration. Place your fingertips gently on the glass during a storm, or when a large truck passes in the street below. You don't hear the sound through the pane, but you feel it, a deep, sub-audible hum, a tremor that travels through the rigid structure and into your bones. The window is transmitting the vibration of the world, but it is also containing it. It translates the external roar into an internal, palpable tremor, one step removed from chaos. This is the precise nature of worry. It is not the event itself. It is the vibration of a possible or remembered event, transmitted through the fragile yet resilient architecture of your mind and body. The window teaches us not to stop the vibration, but to feel it fully, to acknowledge its passage, and to recognize that we are the medium, not the source. Your worries are these tremors. They are not the truck, they are the glass shuddering in its frame. When you feel anxiety as a buzzing in the chest, a tightening in the gut, a static in the mind, you are feeling your own sensitive structure transmitting the frequencies of life. The window does not mistake the tremor for its own breaking. It knows its function is to both separate and connect, to filter the raw noise into a manageable signal. It accepts the vibration as proof of the world's aliveness and of its own integral role. You can learn this acceptance. Instead of fearing the buzz of anxiety as a sign of imminent shattering, you can place a metaphorical hand on your own heart and feel it. Ah, this is the tremor of that thought passing through me. This is the frequency of that fear. Feel its pitch, its rhythm. Is it a low, steady drone, a sharp, erratic spasm? By feeling it as vibration, you objectify it just enough. It becomes a phenomenon happening within the field of your awareness, not a tyrant taking over the throne. And then you can employ the window's other great property, its ability to dampen. Double-paned windows have a layer of inert gas between them that deadens sound transmission. Your consciousness has its own inert layer, the breath, the pause, the silent witness. When you feel the worry vibration, you don't have to amplify it by feeding it stories. You can insert the gentle, inert space of the observer. Breathe into the gap between the tremor and your reaction. That breath is the sealed layer of stillness that dampens the noise. It doesn't stop the external event, the metaphorical truck, but it drastically reduces its power to rattle your inner world. The worry may still be there, but its disturbing resonance is quieted. It becomes a faint hum background noise, rather than a shaking that threatens to break the glass. Tonight, let your practice be one of vibrational awareness. As you lie still, scan the inner landscape not for thoughts, but for tremors. Where do you feel the residual buzz of the day? A tightness in the jaw, a quiver in the solar plexus, a faint electrical hum behind the eyes. Place your attention there, as if placing a gentle hand on cool glass. Don't try to massage it away. Just feel the quality of its vibration. Then, with your next exhale, imagine you are breathing a layer of still, heavy gas into the space around that tremor. Imagine that inert layer absorbing the frantic energy, cushioning it slowing it down. With each breath, the vibration loses its sharpness. It becomes a softer pulse, then a mere warmth, then integrates into the general, peaceful hum of your living body. The window does not seek a life without passing trucks. It is built for them. Your soul is not built for a life without cares. It is built to translate them, to feel their passage, to transmute their noise into the subtler music of a resilient being. You are not fragile glass. You are the whole structure, the pane, the frame, the ceiling, and the deep, quiet space within. The worries are the world touching you. Your sacred task is not to prevent the touch, but to decide how deeply you will let it resonate. And from the still center of your own witnessing presence, you can answer, just enough to know I'm alive, not enough to forget I am also the eternal quiet that holds the very sky against which all trucks must pass. The fifth, knowing about the window, arrives at dawn. It is about the changing angle of the light. At night, the window is a mirror reflecting your inner world. At noon, it is a portal demanding your engagement with the outer world. But in the early morning or the late afternoon, there is a magical, slanted light. It enters not to illuminate everything with glaring clarity, but to pick out dust motes and turn them into dancing gold. It paints long, dramatic shadows, revealing textures in the wood floor you never noticed at high noon. This slanted light does not judge the dust, it glorifies it. It does not erase the shadows, it gives them definition and beauty. The window where worries slide away is most accessible in this slanted light of consciousness, not in the full glare of obsessive analysis, nor in the pitch black of avoidance, but in the gentle, oblique glance of mindful awareness. Your worries, in the harsh noon light of rumination, look like flaws, dirt, problems to be scrubbed away. You focus on them directly, and they expand to fill your entire view. But if you can shift the angle of your attention, if you can bring to them the slanted, gentle light of non-judgmental curiosity, they transform. That worry about a future task is no longer a looming monster. Seen obliquely, it is a dance of specks, a play of mental energy moving through the beam of your awareness. The anxiety in your chest is not a crushing weight in this softer light. It is a warm, dense shadow with a specific shape and border. And beside it, you notice the untouched, peaceful spaces that still exist within you. The slanted light allows you to see the context of the worry. It reveals the worry as one element in a vast, intricate, and beautiful landscape of your inner life. This is the practice of soft focus. You don't stare your worries down. You let your gaze soften, as if you are looking not at the window pane, but through it, while simultaneously being aware of the dust dancing on its surface. You hold both the view beyond the vast space of your awareness and the particles on the glass, the specific worries, in one gentle embrace. You don't give the dust motes more importance than the light that makes them visible, or the air that holds them. They are just passing phenomena in a luminous field. Your worries are dust motes in the sunbeam of your consciousness. They are not you. They are just what happens to be floating through you in this particular light, at this particular time. To find this slanted inner light, align yourself with the transitional times of your day, the natural thresholds, the moments just after waking, just before sleeping, the pause after a deep breath. In these moments, the rigid, direct light of the ego's agenda is dimmed. A more poetic, diffuse light filters in. It is the light of the threshold, the in-between. It is in these moments that you can most easily approach the window. You can lay your worry on the sill like an object and examine it not under the interrogation lamp, but in this kinder, more revealing glow. You might ask, not, how do I fix this? But what texture does this have? What shadow does it cast? How does it interact with the light of my breath? Tonight, as you enter the threshold of sleep, invite this slanted light. Let your attention be soft, peripheral. Be aware of the worry not as a central fact, but as a passing formation in the wide sky of your mind. Watch it as you would watch a cloud at sunset, noting its form, its color, its movement, but knowing it is already in the process of dissipation, backlit by the greater light that is now slipping below the horizon. The window is there. The worry is a shape against it, and you are the ever-present, silent witness of the light itself, which, regardless of what it touches, remains pure, clear, and unchanged. The dance of dust ends, the light remains, and so do you. The sixth understanding of the window is perhaps its most patient. It frames a fragment. No window, no matter how large, shows you the whole world. It shows you a very specific, edited rectangle of it. A slice of sky. The corner of a building. 3 branches of an oak tree. A single street lamp. The window's purpose is not to reveal totality, but to offer a manageable portion of it. It makes the infinite finite. It makes the overwhelming viewable. Your worry is almost always about an imagined totality, the whole future, the entire problem, the sum of possible consequences. It tries to force you to stare at the boundless, terrifying landscape of what if. But the window of your awareness, when you come to it rightly, frames only this moment, only this breath, only this single tangible sensation. It is the antidote to the panoramic nightmare. When you are caught in a cyclone of anxiety, your mental gaze is wide angle, trying to take in everything at once, and therefore seeing nothing clearly except a blur of dread. The practice is to walk to the window and choose a single point to look at. Not to look through the worry, but to treat the worry itself as the vast landscape, and to use your awareness to frame one tiny, concrete piece of it. For example, the worry. My work is falling apart. That is the terrifying panorama. The window frames the sensation in my shoulders right now. That is a view you can hold, the worry. I am not enough. The panorama is a desert of inadequacy. The window frames the feeling of the air moving in and out of my nostrils, a manageable fragment of life happening now. The window doesn't deny the larger landscape's existence. It just says, for this moment, this is all I need to see. This is all that is real. This is the essence of grounding. You are using the frame of your present moment attention to pull yourself out of the abstract, panoramic future and into the concrete, fragmentary now. The window's frame is a boundary of compassion. It says, you do not have to hold the whole world, just this small, beautiful, bearable piece. The mind, when given a specific sensory task, often quiets. It was not built to contemplate infinity for long. It was built to focus on the berry in the bush, the sound in the grass, the feel of the tool in the hand. Your worry is a misuse of its panoramic capability. The window corrects this by offering a legitimate, gentle focus. So tonight, practice framing. Feel the worry as a large, dark, shapeless mass in your mental periphery. Then, consciously direct the frame of your attention to something specific and neutral within your direct experience. The cool spot on the pillow, the weight of your left heel, the distant, rhythmic sound of a fan. Place the worry mass outside the frame. It can stay there. You are not looking at it. You are looking at this. You are training the aperture of your soul to narrow, to deepen, to find immense depth in a single, chosen point. Each time the panoramic worry tries to pull your gaze back, gently return to the framed fragment. It is your anchor. It is the proof that not everything is worry. There is also coolness, weight, and rhythm. The magic is that by fully accepting the limitation of the frame, by surrendering to seeing only this one thing, you often find a peace that feels infinite. Because the fragment you chose, when given your full attention, reveals itself to contain everything. The breath contains the universe. The sensation of the sheet contains all of touch. The sound contains the whole symphony of silence, from which it arose. The window, by framing so little, secretly shows you everything that matters. The profound sufficiency of the present moment. Your worries are just a request, shouted from the dark, to come back to the window and remember how to see. The seventh aspect of the window is its capacity to be opened. This is its most vulnerable and most powerful state. All this time we've considered it as a barrier, a reflector, a frame. But a window, by its design, contains a mechanism for permeability. The latch, the sill you can lean on, the space you can crank open to let the outside in. The window where worries slide away is not a sealed unit forever. Its deepest function may be to teach you when and how to open it, to allow a controlled, conscious exchange between the inner climate and the outer world. Your worries often fester in a sealed environment. The same air recirculates, growing stale and thick with repetitive thoughts. The pressure builds. This is the feeling of being trapped with your anxiety, pacing the same mental room. The idea of opening the window can feel terrifying. What if something worse gets in? What if I lose control? But the sealed window is an illusion of safety that leads to stagnation. The opening is an act of trust in a larger atmosphere. You are not throwing the whole wall down. You are cracking the seal just an inch to let the atmosphere equalize. To open the window on a worry is not to release it wildly into the world, nor to invite a hurricane inside. It is to allow a cross breeze of perspective. It is to perform a simple, symbolic act, giving the worry access to something larger than your own mind. This can be done through utterance, speaking it aloud to the night, even in a whisper. I am worried about the money. Said to the dark, it loses some of its coiled, interior power. It becomes a sentence, a set of sounds, absorbed by a space that doesn't argue back. It can be done through writing, scribbling it on a piece of paper, and then setting the paper aside, physically moving it from the interior to the exterior of your immediate sphere. The action itself is the opening of the latch. More subtly, it is done through the breath. The inhale is the drawing in of the fresh, unknown air of the present moment. The exhale is the deliberate, gentle release of the worried thought outward, past the sill of your lips, into the room where it dissipates. With each breath, you are opening the window a little more, until the boundary between the inner worry and the outer space becomes porous. The worry no longer feels like a permanent resident, but like a scent that can air out. Tonight, practice opening the window. Identify one specific worry. Feel its closed, pressurized quality in your chest or mind. imagine the window in front of you. Place your hand on the latch. On your next exhale, imagine unlatching it. Hear the soft click. On the following inhale, imagine pulling the window open just a crack. Feel the immediate rush of cooler night air on your face. It is not threatening. It is refreshing. On the next exhale, imagine your worry in the form of a warm, stale breath leaving through that crack. On the inhale, draw in the calm, neutral night. Do this for a few cycles. You are not expelling the worry into the world as a poison. You are simply allowing it to leave the sealed chamber of your obsessive focus and allowing the vast, equilibrating peace of the night to enter. The open window is a state of humility and relationship. It acknowledges that you are not a self-contained system. You are part of an ecosystem. Your inner weather affects and is affected by the greater atmosphere. Sometimes the most healing thing you can do is to stop trying to control the climate of your own mind in isolation and to simply, bravely open the latch. Let the fresh air of not knowing, of space, of the world's immense and indifferent kindness flow through. The worry may not vanish, but it will cease to be the only thing you can breathe. The eighth knowing is about the silhouette. When the light inside is just right and the world outside is dark, you don't see the window at all. What you see is the frame, a sharp, black outline against the lesser darkness of the night. And within that frame, anything can be projected. A branch tapping in the wind becomes a skeletal hand. A distant street lamp becomes a captive moon. The window itself disappears into its own boundary, becoming a pure stage for the play of shadow and imagination. This is the profound truth. The window where worries slide away is most powerful when you stop seeing the glass and start seeing the frame. The frame is your conscious intention. The frame is the decision of where you place your attention. The glass is just the permeable medium. The frame is the unwavering structure that makes viewing possible. Your worries are like the phantoms projected onto this dark glass. They are shapes you are giving to the formless movement of life. The branch is just a branch. Your anxious mind makes it a tapping hand. The worry is not in the event. It is in the frame you put around it. When you are lost in the worry, you are staring at the projected silhouette, believing it to be reality, forgetting the window altogether. The practice of release is to pull your gaze back just enough to see the frame, to remember, I am the one framing this. I am the one giving this thought the power of this dark rectangle, this stage. Seeing the frame gives you back your agency. You can change the projection. You can't always stop the branch from tapping the external circumstance, but you can change the light inside your inner state, which changes the silhouette. You can soften the interior light with compassion, and the sharp, frightening silhouette blurs into a gentle, moving gray. You can even, eventually, turn the inner light off entirely through deep surrender and let the window become a mirror again, reflecting only your own peaceful presence. The frame remains. Your awareness remains. But the scary play on the stage ends. This is the essence of reframing, not as a trite positive thinking exercise, but as a sacred act of perception. You are not denying the branch. You are changing your relationship to the window. You are remembering you hold the lamp. Tonight, take a specific worry and consciously place it in the frame. Visualize it as a dark silhouette on a window pane. Now, look at the frame itself. Feel its solidity, its 4 clean lines. That frame is your breath. It is the unchanging cycle of inhalation and exhalation that contains every mental image. Now, slowly, in your mind's eye, dim the inner light. Watch as the sharp, scary silhouette loses its definition, softens, merges with the general darkness. It hasn't vanished. It has been reintegrated into the night from which it was momentarily separated by your focused fear. You are not the silhouette. You are not even the glass. You are the architect of the frame, and you are the one who can decide, moment by moment, what quality of light to shine upon the world, and therefore, what shapes will dance upon the boundary between your soul and the great, mysterious night. When you rest in this knowing, the worries don't just slide away. They are revealed as transient shadows, given form only by the temporary light of your focus. And you are free to change the light, to widen the frame, or to simply rest in the sweet, silent darkness where all frames dissolve and only boundless being remains. The 9th essence of the window is its stillness in the storm. When the wind howls and rain lashes in horizontal lines, the window does not howl back. It does not run away. It receives the onslaught with a silent, shuddering grace, becoming a living map of the tempest. Each raindrop is a comet streaking down its surface. The wind is a visible force, pressing waves of water across the pane. In that moment, the window is the most intimate witness to chaos, yet it remains, at its core, unchanged. Its function to separate and yet to show is not defeated. It is fulfilled in the most dramatic way. The window where worries slide away is not a fair weather friend. It is proven in the storm. Your worry is the storm, and you are the window. There is a primal fear that if we truly let ourselves feel the worry, the lashing anxiety, the howling fear, we will shatter. The window teaches the opposite. It is made to withstand pressure. Its strength is in its flexibility and its secure anchorage. When you allow yourself to be the window in the storm of your worry, you do not become the worry. You become the clear, resilient space that contains the experience of the worry. You let the thoughts streak across your awareness like frantic rain. You let the emotional gales press against the boundaries of your body. You shudder with the impact, but you do not break, because you are not the fragile content of the storm. You are the structure that allows it to be seen, known, and eventually passed over. This is the practice of courageous presence. It is not sitting calmly above your feelings. It is placing yourself directly in their path, with the deep, silent knowing that you are the witness, not the weather. You can feel the terror in your belly and think, this is the wind pressing on the glass. You can feel the cascade of catastrophic thoughts and think, these are the raindrops streaking down. You don't try to stop the rain. You anchor yourself in the frame of your breath and your bodily presence, and you watch the storm do its worst on the surface of your being. And in the watching, a miracle occurs. The identification breaks. You are watching the storm of you, not as you. The window is always slightly apart from the weather it displays. And then the storm's nature is revealed. It is temporary. It is energetic. It is cleaning the air. The raindrops in their frantic descent are also washing the glass. The worry, in its violent passage, is scouring the soul of stagnation. After such a storm, the window is often left clearer than before. Your spirit, after fully feeling a wave of anxiety without resisting it, is often left more peaceful, more resilient, more deeply clean. The worry wasn't an enemy. It was a violent, necessary front moving through the atmosphere of your life. Tonight, if a storm of worry arises, don't hide in the interior room. Don't pull the curtains. Go to the window. Metaphorically, place your hands on either side of it. Feel the solid frame of your hips on the bed, the steady rhythm of your heart. Then look out. Let the storm rage on the glass. Feel its vibrations. Watch its patterns. Say to yourself, this is the weather of my life right now. I am the stillness that holds this weather. Breathe into the tension, not to dissolve it, but to give it space to move. With each exhale, imagine the rain sliding down and off the sill, draining away. The storm will pass. It always does. And you will be there, the window, slightly changed perhaps, marked by the experience, but fundamentally intact, clear, and open to the next thing. Perhaps the first star, reappearing in a washed, clean sky. Your worries are not your destruction. They are the storms that test and ultimately reveal your unbreakable, transparent nature. You are not made of glass. You are made of the quiet, intelligent presence that can hold any weather, and in the holding, find a peace that is deeper than any calm. The 10th and final knowing about the window is not about the window at all. It is about the emptiness of the frame. We have journeyed through the glass as barrier, mirror, and cleanser, through the storm upon it and the light through it. We have seen the silhouettes and felt the vibrations. We have opened it to the night. Now look again. When you see truly, the window disappears. What you took for a solid object, a thing that does something, reveals itself as an opening in the wall, a hole, a shaped nothingness. The window's ultimate truth is that it is an absence that allows presence. It is the lack of wall that permits the world to enter your awareness. The window where worries slide away succeeds because, at its essence, it is not a thing you possess. It is a space you are. A willingness to be empty, to be an aperture, to be nothing but a clear, open welcome. Your worries are pieces of the wall. They are bricks of thought, mortar of memory, plaster of old story. They are the stuff that fills the opening and says, "No view today." Only this solid, worrying mass. The practice of coming to the window is in its final stage, the practice of identifying with the bricks. It is the gentle, persistent realization. I am not this solid structure. I am the space where structures appear and dissolve. You are the emptiness that allows the worry brick to be seen, and therefore to be seen through. When you stop being the wall and remember you are the window, the worry loses its solidity. It is just another temporary formation in the field of your awareness, and it will pass, because all formations do. Only the space is permanent. This emptiness is not a void of despair. It is a fullness of potential. It is the pregnant silence before the symphony, the blank canvas that holds all possible paintings. When you rest as this emptiness, you are not devoid of feeling. You are so full of capacity that no single feeling can define you. The worry comes, and it is allowed its shape, its sound, its weight. But it is moving through a space so vast that it cannot cause an echo. It is a bird flying through a cathedral, noticeable, beautiful even in its flight path, but gone in a moment, leaving the sacred silence undisturbed. So, what is the call to action from this place of empty fullness? It is the gentlest of all invitations. Become the aperture. Stop trying to fix the window, clean the window, or even look through the window. Instead, several times a day, perhaps at the threshold moments of waking, midday, and before sleep, pause. For 1 minute, let everything be exactly as it is. your thoughts, your sensations, the sounds around you. And in the center of it all, feel for the openness that is allowing it all to happen. Don't try to visualize it. Feel it as a sense of spaciousness behind your eyes, in your chest, all around you. You are not the thoughts. You are the space for thoughts. You are not the feelings. You are the awareness that feels. This is you being the window. From this space, live, let your actions come not from the dense, worried bricks of the ego, but from the clear, open responsiveness of the aperture. Meet others from here, and you meet the openness in them. Meet your tasks from here, and they become movements within a spacious dance, not burdens on a solid back. You have spent a lifetime building a sturdy, reliable wall. It has served its purpose, but the soul is not a fortress. It is a view. It is an opening to the sky. Thank you for having the courage to approach this opening again and again. The journey from seeing a wall to knowing yourself as the window is the only journey that ever mattered. Now, rest, not as someone looking out a window, but as the window itself, open, empty, clear, and utterly at peace with whatever the night or the dawn may bring. Sweet, boundless dreams